On today's Zoo, we get musical. Because that's what you listen to in quarantines. You listen to music like Gente de Zona, Omar Escobar, and Nova Miller. Stay tuned, because it all happens today on The Zoo. All right, we're back here on The Zoo, and so, we're doing some quarantine editions. I'm joined by the dongle, Andres Palencia. Andres, we're not coordinating. Why?
Oh my God, again.
Show that we did, and we're both wearing like burgundy, and now we're both wearing, what is this, navy blue? I really hope that the next show that we do together that we don't wear the same shirt, but I got a feeling that we are. How you doing, man?
Doing all right.
You're over there, socially distant, but not emotionally distant?
I'm emotionally distant. Just that's my default.
You are. Can a quick quirk about our mugs?
The what?
The mugs.
Oh yeah, Zoo merch, but it's left-handed.
It's left-handed.
It's a left-handed mug.
Dude, how do left-handed people write?
Left-handed.
But they smear their entire everything they're writing. Like if you look at a signature by like a left-handed person, it's just smeared.
No, I've seen them do. They go up and around sometimes. Have you seen people? They write up and around.
How do you God, I have such bad handwriting. You've seen some of my handwriting. Oh, it's really bad. You have amazing handwriting.
I don't. I do sometimes, but it goes up or down. Like it'll look perfect, and then I'll like zoom out. Zoom out my perspective, and then it's like all tilted.
Do you up talk when you write?
I don't know.
I get so lazy by the end of the sentence.
Yeah. You know what though? Cursive is dead, right?
Cursive is
Do kids
so dead.
are my kids not gonna know cursive?
What's cursive, Daddy?
Dude, it's pretty letters.
I know, it's pretty letters.
Just do the pretty letters.
It's one big letter. It's every word is one big letter. But hey, so no, this is the music show. We gotta get to the music.
Okay.
So have you been listening to any good music lately?
I mean, it's that thing where you're really testing how much you like music these days.
Okay, yeah.
Because I listen to music all the time.
Right.
And the music serves different functions. I think both of us have the thing where we both write, and we write to music. I can only write to Daft Punk if I really need. I can only write to Daft Punk.
Daft Punk is great.
I'm like, geez, you guys got to refresh me because it's been a minute.
Yeah.
And that's all I can write to, or like the field, but it has to be in the very narrow genre of.
I've discovered some good writing music. So I've done segments on the people behind Mayan Warrior who are from Mexico, but they're like EDM, trance. I wouldn't even say the word trance.
Are they music or car people? Music people, car people?
It's a little bit. It's a collective. So it's a guy, Mexican entrepreneur named Pablo Gonzalez. He made this what began as an art car. Now in Burning Man, which got canceled because of the COVID virus. So did Comic-Con. Those are my favorites. Anyway, it's for a good cause. So he starts an art car, and it's all these visuals and lasers that can even go up and be seen in the sky, but an amazing sound system. Then he has a collective of DJs and like live EDM people, and he puts them on there. So they're part of the Mayan Warrior. But what's cool is that it's like really ethereal, strange EDM, but because it's people from Mexico, like there's like Spanish vocals, and just it's the coolest thing in Burning.
There's a magic to musical appropriation. There really is. There is like.
But wait a minute, hold on. Are you saying because these are people from Mexico, so they're not appropriating Spanish lyrics?
I mean,
but are they appropriating the EDM?
I don't know. I'm using the term, I guess, incorrectly or correctly, or like. I think music is better. Or some of the best of a genre is someone else from the outside trying to do something that someone else is doing. Specifically, I guess historically,
British rock and roll took from blues.
People like American music interpreted by other country, other artists from different places, like Japanese pop is like Swedish pop.
Right.
Like Robin does a work of art.
Right.
Doing her interpretation of like what we would call just like trivial, like just repetitive,
But do you think electronic dance music is the universal music, and it's the one thing that it's not really? I mean, we can have a historical discussion and talk about how like house music was born in Chicago and Detroit. It was actually African Americans, but they were themselves being influenced by German Kraftwerk, which were like these white German guys. And so,
by the way, the Kraftwerk. Have you been to a Kraftwerk concert?
I have.
Oh God, that is the best experience of my life.
Just the robots, just.
Bro, so imagine like it's the most awesome like laser visual performance that you better not stand up out of your seat or someone will shush you.
Yeah.
to, to like the deepest bass, like the danciest music, and you just sit there and you watch.
Well, trance, Europe, Express. Well, so Kraftwerk was a big influence really on the kind of music I liked growing up, because in Miami, there's a genre called Miami bass, which is basically, like more what they call electro funk. So Planet Rock. Have you ever heard the song Planet Rock from Africa Bambaataa? It's deep bass and breakbeats. He was influenced by Kraftwerk. So that deep bass breakbeat sound, which originated in Germany, then came via New York, was a huge thing in Miami growing up. And I mean, it's one of those. It's like jeans. Like even if it sounds like old school, like those bass beats just will never.
Well, it's. I feel like music is like everything. It comes from the most interesting people, like originally. It comes from people who've been through stuff, like blues, gospel. Goth. Well, because it all comes from people who have been through stuff, and then it gets passed on. Like the outsiders get passed on to to the fringy.
Right.
Because first it's pain, or it's like deep emotion, and then it's fringe and rebellion, and then the gays start playing it, right. Or like the goths, the punks who are homeless, and then eventually like.
When the mainstream frat boy and sorority girls are jamming to it. You know what? This is why I can't get into Bruno Mars. Because I can imagine my mom like bopping up and down to Bruno Mars. So it's like, I can't.
I don't think it goes wrong. Because, I mean.
You weren't the kind of person that in high school was like, oh, now they're into it? Ugh.
I was that kind of person. Then I'm like, who am I saving this cynicism for? I'm like, who is someone gonna keep score of like, do I like something that someone else likes?
I agree. And you know when I stopped doing that? When I became the person that they were like, oh, now he likes, because I'm not the kind of person that really like expresses a lot of the fringe stuff that I like. I kind of like dress pretty plain, and you can't really tell that I'm into like some obscure stuff. I have some, some taste, I think. And one day I was at a Super Bowl party, remember, and I was wearing a The Who t-shirt, like a vintage The Who t-shirt, and this girl goes, do you know who The Who are, or are you just wearing it to be ironic? And I go, I know The Who enough to I would have asked you that same question if you were wearing this t-shirt. And she goes, touche. I realized I need to stop being so judgmental, because I was like, this guy doesn't know who The Who is. He just thinks it's a cool t-shirt he bought at Hot Topics.
That's why I have a hard time. The only band shirts I wear are Guns N' Roses, because I love Guns N' Roses that much. And then I have one other band shirt that I got for my birthday. It's a Carly Rae Jepsen shirt, because I love Carly Rae Jepsen more than anything in the world. Canadian, right? I have no idea why I like her so much.
Well, she's Canadian.
There you go.
Canadians are a better half, or Americans better half. All right, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to run through some of the best music interviews and performances that we've seen on the Zoo this year, and we'll talk a little bit more about what we're into. Stay tuned, because we're getting musical on the Zoo. All right, guys, we are back on the Zoo, and it's time to get into some music interviews and performances we've had here on the Zoo during this quarantine edition. First up is this guy named HGroove. His real name is Hassan Dahik, and he's Ecuadorian I think he's also of Middle Eastern descent as well. But his music is just as much of a fusion as him. It's ska and punk and a little bit of Bob Dylan stuff going on, and like what kind of vibes did you get off of him?
Oh, I don't know. I just think for some reason the only people allowed to do ska are Latin Americans.
Sublime had their ska songs, but I wouldn't
Orange
call
County.
them a ska band.
God, remember Orange County?
Dude, do you remember
Orange County?
Do you remember how cool it was that they were like ghetto white guys from Long Beach who sang Spanish and spoke Spanish better than me?
Yeah. Nothing summed up SoCal Venice Beach like as a 90s thing better than them, and actually Jane's Addiction. I don't know if they were they from?
Jane's Addiction was very Venice, yeah, because Perry Farrell settled there. But here's what I'll say about like Sublime. And it's how people try to reinterpret that, and they have the missing piece. In the late 90s, early 2000s, you had a bunch of bands that would tell you Sublime was their favorite band, but I hated these bands. I'm talking about Blink-182 and Sum 41 and all these. They were wannabe Sublimes. To me, they were rich kids from Orange County. Sublimes weren't rich kids from Orange County. They were poor white kids who hung out with Mexican kids and black kids, and they hung out on the beach, and they got into trouble, and they spoke Spanish, and all that cool stuff. And you had these other bands, and I know Blink-182 is cool, and you probably like them. And I know a lot of people out there like them. But To me, they were trying to be sublime, and they were missing that street piece.
No, well, I mean,
Because Sublime was like ghetto rock and roll.
Yeah, but for me it was like Blink and Sum 41. That was the '90s time for suburban rock.
For sure.
Like it was the '50s. The '90s were the '50s. Yeah. I think the '90s were the '50s. Yeah. We had. It was like the parents bought you the instruments and then you got to be poor and skip college.
Right.
And that's who the but then there was the Offspring. I was a huge The Offspring fan. 90s, yeah. There was such a crossover right there between like the Guns N' Roses on the way out, and then they were friends with the not Keith Moon. What was the guy who died? No Rain. Blind Melon.
Blind Melon. Yeah, that was great. Yeah. But you're now going deep into like alternative rock, because that's what they used to call alternative rock.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so I don't know that.
Well, '94 was one of the best years for rock and roll in history.
Did 2000s music survive the way that '90s music? Like, is there a 2000s Fiona
Apple? I think '90s music is coming back now, but in the early 2000s it became pop and hip hop. And maybe EDM had their own thing going on, but I think that, remember, in the early 2000s, it was just the Strokes, who, by the way, you said put out a new album, right?
It's Strokes' new album out, yeah.
All right, let's go. Before we can go down another rabbit hole, but let's check out HGroove, a little bit about himself, and also he got to perform for us, so check it out.
So you've been here for 4 years, and I feel like you resonate with LA somewhat with Ecuador, or
it's good to like put my story out there, that I'm a person that I'm like doing things in both parts of the world, and I just want to express that, and mainly like my music is to express what I'm living and what I am as a person, and probably many people are going through the same and can resonate through that.
What's the name of the last single?
¿Qué pasa? That's the other one.
That's that great video. Where'd you shoot that?
I did that in Los Angeles, actually. Yeah, I did that in downtown LA.
Anytime you shoot in a parking garage, it looks like Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Because parking garages are a big part of our life.
Look at our set. It is, actually. No, it was a great adventure, actually. We had to do everything in a day, and it ended up pretty well. I'm glad of that music video. Actually, the guy that produced that song, his name is John Avila. He was a bass player in this group called Oingo Boingo.
Yes,
okay, I know you guys have heard
yes.
Yeah, he's a great musician, and I'm glad to have been able to work with him.
Okay, so the thing is, she likes to dance, but she likes to do twerking and other stuff. Can she twerk to any of your songs and be in the next music video that has any kind of rhythm that she can twerk to, right?
Because you're I want to learn how to ska. I've seen it. It's kind of crazy, but I haven't been able to get on that.
You already got it. You already got
Wait, but he likes Calle 13, so I can see like, is there going to be like a little bit more of a reggaeton influence coming in there in any of the songs?
Yeah,
so that Gabby can dance to it more?
I'll just do some of this. Hey.
Yeah.
Are there a lot of like local Ecuadorian rock bands? Are there a lot of homegrown artists down there as well?
Yeah, but it hasn't go too far yet. But there's amazing talent over there. It's a pretty cultural, especially the city where I come from, Quito. Mm-hmm. It's a pretty old city, a beautiful city that has a lot of culture, and there's many great talents. Like there are groups like Trebol, Galaxy Club, and many others that surprise, especially the independent scene. And I came from that because I came from a group that was called the Groove Machine. We were playing a lot of local shows over there, and thankfully that's one of the reasons why I'm able to be here in Los Angeles. So
wait, were you already HGroove when you had the Groove Machine?
Yeah. That's where I got the name, actually. That's like in my neighborhood. That's how people used to call me. We used to like meet with my friends after class and just freestyle and just play music, and it was just a great experience, and that's where my name came from.
How do you find a way to put your, I wouldn't say political angst, but your social angst, like in a song like ¿Qué pasa? How do you weave it in there and still keep it like jamming? And
I just try to express myself because at the end of the day, art, music, it's like a screenshot of what's happening in our lives in this moment, and that's what I want to do with people, like tell them what I'm living, and if it's political, it's affecting me directly or not directly, Is
there something that's affecting you now? Trump, immigration? Is there something that directly, is
not necessarily, but I know that it's a really strong topic for us Latinos.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think it not necessarily affect me, only me, but affects everyone. And that's also where my music comes from. It's a way of coping or fighting or trying to raise my voice so that other people can relate and sing with me. This song is called ¿Qué pasa? And I hope you guys will enjoy this. I don't know what's the problem, if you can find the answer yet. In this whole world that's burning, in this whole world that wants to end. Lo predigo con furia, prendido, fenicia sumisa. El fuego te avisa, relaja lo oscuro, revela lo claro, rimando frecuente en un mundo dañado. De hecho, lo sospecho, prefiero ser libre, soy mi propio techo. No, yo no sé qué pasa. I don't know what's going on. Grítale a la masa. Lo sé, no freaking control. Piensa el futuro. Let the time find for yourself. Ver un mundo nuevo where there's nowhere else to go. Listen to this revolution, yeah, exploding in your ears. Listen to this reality of people that don't have fear. No es locura si te miente, muestra los dientes, rompes esquemas, deja tus penas, pierdes injusticia y arrogancia entre letras bravas y mansas, escapar las castas, la paz te sangra, hasta me faltan palabras exactas, yeah. No, yo no sé qué pasa, I don't know what's going on, grítale a la masa, lo sé, no freaking control, piensa el futuro, let the time find for yourself, ven a un mundo nuevo, where there's nowhere else to go, yeah. Pa 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 pa, pa pa pa. Pa pa ra pa pa, na na na. No, yo no sé qué pasa. I don't know what's going on. Grítale a la masa. Losing no freaking control. Piensa en el futuro. Let the time find for yourself. Ven a un mundo nuevo where there's nowhere else to go. Yo no sé qué pasa. I don't know what's going on. Grítale a la masa. Losing no freaking control. Piensa en el futuro. Let the time find for yourself. Ven a un mundo nuevo where there's nowhere else to go. Yeah, where there's nowhere else to go. Where there's nowhere else to go.
All right, guys, when we come back, it's Katsu Oso, only on the Zoo. All right, guys, we are back on the Zoo, and before we get into our next guest, because I want to talk about a whole genre that they're doing, which is fairly new, even though, you were talking about the 50s before. They actually take some of those, like Richie Valens vibes. That's Katsu Oso and Kuku and those people. But before, you had a point about the 90s. What were you going to say?
Yeah, 100%, and I will defend this like with my bare fist. I think the 90s were, hands down, historically, the best decade of music.
Well, you had everything, right? You had the resurgence, or like maybe the last hurrah of rock and roll in the early 90s and the mid 90s with alternative rock.
You still had blues, like you still had blues rock. You still had your guitar solos. You also had your anti-establishment rock. Right. You had your Nirvanas, like, no, this is 3 chords. This is for everyone. You had like
gangster rap.
You had you had pop.
Right.
We've never had better boy bands. We've never had better pop. You had Madonna. Right. You had Mariah Carey. You had the divas, Madonna, Mariah, Whitney. You had the 3 tenors. So we had the best classical music.
Yeah. No,
you had raving music.
You had the raves,
goth music, industrial music.
Oof, ministry. But there is. I think that in the 21st century, I think when it comes to musical genres, it's really been about kaleidoscope. How can we reshuffle and create different fusions? So you are seeing a lot of new music, but the new music somehow takes something that's old and reinvents it. Now, one thing that has been local, Chicano in LA is Cuco started this lo-fi, like drippy, droopy, slow love song, like taking Richie Valens and like just, slowing it down and just being kind of silly, also kind of comical and just video friendly, weird, Casio keyboard, bad vocals. I'm sure, not bad vocals, but like that stuff. And we had this guy named Katsu Oso on, and he's so this genre is happening. What do you think about this genre?
I like it. It's like, it's like this generation's kind of like Weezer.
Yeah.
This is this generation's like, I'm a dude making my own music, and somehow it gets out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a dude having my emotions,
Right.
doing my own thing, and then it got out,
Yeah.
and then everybody relates and they like it.
It got out.
And it's a East LA Latino kids.
So coming up, it's Katsu Oso. Check it out.
What do you call this kind of genre of music? This kind of like spacey,
Yes.
like what do you call
I don't know.
this?
Well, I mean, Spotify labeled it as bedroom pop.
Oh my goodness!
You know?
This is okay. It's so funny that they labeled it that, because I was like, every time that I hear your music, I feel kind of like it's got a very intimate vibe to it, and I'm like, I feel like it's meant to make babies with. Is that?
Yeah.
Is that what
It's definitely meant
for?
to kiss and make love to.
Yeah.
Is that sex music?
Yes.
I think it's foreplay music.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh.
It's makeout music.
There we go.
It's
There
like
we go.
dim the lights and get freaky kind of music.
Yeah.
There we go.
In the hotel room.
Totally. At what point did you realize, hey, you know what? Like, music can be like slow and like drippy and like just kind of simple, but it's not simple when you really understand it. But it seems like simple music. Is that a word that like pops up? Is that like offensive to?
Yeah, no, not at all. It is simple, but I try to incorporate a lot of different things going on at the same time.
Like what?
Just different. I add a lot of like synthesizers in my music.
Right.
Yes.
Synths. So I try to have a lot of them going on at the same time. So it's more of like a different world, like a soundscape rather than.
Soundscape is exactly how to
Oh,
put it.
yeah.
Despacio pasa el tiempo cuando estoy sin ti. Qué suave me la paso ahí. Tu hermosura con tanto valor. Sin camisas porque da calor. Cuerpos dorados nadando por el mar. Solo pa' tener que hacer. Con mil memorias no vuelvo a encontrar. Espero a volverte a ver. Y sé que no hay nadie más. De ti nunca quiero separar. Y sé que no hay nadie más. Nunca nadie puede comparar. City of angels, won't you take me back? Thank you.
After the break, it's Gente de Zona, only on the Zoo. Keep it live. All right, we are back on the Zoo, and coming up, my brothers from another mother, Gente de Zona, Cuban-born artists. You've heard of Gente de Zona's music, right? Gabby loves them.
Yeah, I think there's like climate change activists are really worried about the Gente de Oso in the layer.
Oh, that's funny. Look at you. That's an Andres joke for sure. But there was a controversy that involved them earlier this year, and what happened is they were slated to play the New Year's Eve concert with Pitbull in Miami. Oh. And because they're from Cuba, and obviously, when you still live in Cuba, you can't really criticize, the Cuban government, and you speak up for it. Local Cubans started, making kind of a fuss, and Pitbull did the right thing. He says, politics and music can be separated. We can appreciate the art without getting into it. This is not about politics. It's about jamming to some good Cuban music and not making it a political statement. It's just about people coming together, and he stuck by his guns, and so they played. It was kind of like a non-controversy.
Pitbull's such a gentleman.
Pitbull is a gentleman.
Pitbull, he'll never get the credit because he's a Miami guy.
Yeah.
He's like a sleazy Miami guy.
Yeah.
But he'll never get. First of all, like the nicest human being on planet
Totally.
Earth, but then also like everything that we give credit for. And Latinos own pop music today. I think there's no question. Right. If you're Madonna and you want to revive your career, the biggest probably like female thing, the biggest like pop star, you call Maluma, you call the Colombian guy to come on your song and sing in Spanish. You know what I mean? Like Bieber called on J Balvin, and it's a cool thing that's happening, but then it's just as easy to forget that Pitbull was that. Right. He just didn't have the squad. Yeah. You know, he didn't have the squad to. Well,
I covered Pitbull when he was coming up, and when he was coming up, he was more hardcore hip hop, and then he became like the guy that sings on your pop song. I love Pitbull as a person. Not the biggest fan of his pop music, but you know that I'm like Mr. Anti-pop. Yeah. But his early stuff is definitely worth listening to. But let's check out his friends, Gente de Zona, from Cuba, right here on the Zoo.
¿En algún momento ustedes están tristes o siempre son así de alegres?
Normalmente somos seres humanos, claro que estamos tristes, pero tratamos de evadir los problemas, ¿no? Ya sabemos que cuando pasa el problema ya pasó. Entonces, ¿de qué vale volver a caer en lo mismo? Entonces hay que echar para adelante y hay que reírse.
Yo nunca estoy triste, ¿no?
Sí está triste, lo refleja con una sonrisa.
No existe, porque cuando estoy triste me da tanta gracia estar triste.
Gaby, ¿qué instrumento es la que tú tocas, Gaby?
No, yo canto.
¿O tú solamente cantas?
Instrumento no sé.
Ah, ok, usted decía, do a collaboration with them.
Tiene que invitarme a un karaoke.
Esta noche sí es karaoke si quieren, están invitados.
Sí, no. Hay que ver cómo tiene, si no toca instrumento, tiene que agarrar el micrófono.
Eso sí lo puedo agarrar bien.
El micrófono, ¿verdad?
El micrófono,
Eso parece otra cosa.
Oye, pero tú...
Perdón, ya me persiné ya.
No, está bien.
No, todo tiene que tener un arte.
Exacto.
Claro.
hasta eso.
Eso es un instrumento, es que sí, ¿eh?
Sí, hay artistas que agarran mal el micrófono.
Sí,
claro.
Bueno, yo espero que no sean ustedes.
Wait for me and to her for a second, because towards the end of the interview, you started getting a little more involved. Now, let me tell you something. He's not your biggest fan. She's your biggest fan.
Yes.
That's why she barely said anything. Serenade her. Oye, no, porque por eso ella estaba nerviosa. Habla con él.
Oh my God, no.
Ponte. Hey, she didn't know you guys were...
Por favor, déjenme.
Cuando te sientes en medio, te convierte en una ética Oreo.
Ahora sí, el plano, ¿qué? ¿El cubano qué?
Oye, ¿tú crees que la gente en este país están conociendo los cubanos más?
Sí, yo creo que sí. Yo creo que
sí.
Nosotros también tuvimos la oportunidad de llevar la música después de hacer la cruz, ¿sabes? ¿No?
Claro.
Una gloria de nuestro país. No tuvimos la oportunidad de conocerla, pero creo que después de ella, Bailando fue una canción muy mundial, ¿no? Que dio...
Hasta que llegó Despacito.
Que dio mucho de qué hablar y sacó la música cubana un poco más a flote. Gracias a SM Bueno, a Enrique Iglesias y bueno, a estos servidores.
¿Tú eres soltera?
No.
Por ahora sí, contigo.
¿Cómo fue la Cuba?
Mira, yo soy soltero, ¿ok? Así que llévenme por allá.
Significa que no.
Es que tenía como el gallito atorado, ¿verdad?
Oye,
no.
Cuando este episodio sale, ella le decía al novio, no, hoy no vamos a ver el Zoom.
Nos encanta bailar salsa.
Okay.
So, there you go. Vamos a Cuba, bailamos salsa.
Seguro, pero ya está incluido el novio, ¿no?
Ya lo incluí, está.
Oye,
Acompaña a tu novio también para que disfrute de Cuba y conozca un poquito.
Oye, mi primo, cuando yo me quedé con él dijo que yo estaba con mi novia. Y él dice, oye, la próxima vez, ven solo.
¿Qué es lo que dije? No traigan arena a la playa. Que no traigan arena a la playa.
Hay mucha arena en la playa.
La próxima vez, primero va con ella, la próxima ella va sola.
¿Ustedes creen que son como que los pioneros? Bueno, no los pioneros, pero los que de verdad lo hicieron eso mismo.
Bueno, yo creo que en parte sí abrimos una puerta, la cual la música urbana de Cuba tuvo más aceptación internacionalmente, ¿no?
Okay.
Y gracias a nosotros y bueno, y ahora todos los artistas que están difundiendo la música, Cuba tiene una presencia más en el mundo latino, que no la tenía hace mucho tiempo.
Mira, nos queda poquito para que ustedes salgan de aquí. Yo quiero que ustedes nos canten algo a capela, por lo menos, porque aquí la gente los quiere tanto. We need it.
Claro. Y se formó la gozadera.
Miami me lo conmigo. Puerto Rico me lo regaló. Y la tambora merenguera, dominicana y arrético. Con México, Colombia y Venezuela.
Y de Cuba somos tú y yo.
¡Eso!
tuned, because after the break, we're gonna hang out with Nova Miller, and it's gonna be a super Nova. All right, guys, we are back on the zoo, and before we get to our next guest, you wanted to say something about music discovery.
Yeah, because I think we've been trying to explain, in my opinion, why music kind of peaked as a whole in the 90s and then went down. And I think, especially now, I don't know if it's true for you, I don't know if it's my old age, but you don't have to work to discover music, really. You have to go out and find it, but you don't have to work. Do you remember how lucky you were to get to listen to the song you wanted to hear when you wanted to hear it? Do you remember,
you had to find a DVD. You had to read about it in a magazine.
Yeah.
You know, a magazine that's not just at your disposal. You know, and then or have a friend that turns you on to it.
And if you had to go to Amoeba if you're in LA, or you had to go and you had to sift through the thing. We were young, so you had to afford to buy a whole CD or get it for sale, and then even with the MP3 days, you had to find someone to send it to you, and then also you had to. I remember when Pitchfork used to be like it used to be the music discovery. It's like a music review kind of site. You used to have to go there to see like, was there something released worth listening to? And then you try to go find it, download it.
Yeah.
But now it's all it's these curated playlists that you rely on.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think kids are still hunting for the underground thing. That's why they look for the obscure stuff. But speaking of, I don't think she's that underground, but she's came up and she's rising into the ethereal atmosphere that we provide here on the zoo. Her name is Nova Miller, and she played for us. And we're going to check it out right now.
I've seen that you have a great relationship to your fans.
Yes.
So
thank you so much.
How do you keep up with it? Because they're a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you talk to all of them, and the amount of support and love you get from them, and the way you acknowledge them, I think it's also like a huge deal.
Yeah.
So how did you come up? Was this like a thing you've always done? Was this more a strategy thing? Are they considered your family? What's your relationship to them?
Yeah, I mean, my relationship is with I've just recently started growing my fan base and started going on social media, which is really, really, really fun, really exciting, and they're so cool. They're so fun
What
to talk
platforms
to.
do you like to talk to them on?
I'm a lot on Instagram. If you want to find me there, it's Nova Miller.
Okay.
And actually on TikTok, I had a video there that went viral. And
TikTok is amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Tell us about that video.
Yeah, so I basically couldn't record any videos in my apartment because I got so many noise complaints.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
here
it's
or in
insane.
Sweden?
No, here.
Of course.
That sounds like a Swedish thing, though.
Like
Very American.
I almost got kicked out of my apartment.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, let me go down to the parking lot and try filming it there.
Oh my God.
So I did that, the boy.
Ay, Dios mío.
That one.
What's with the whole 60s vibe? Because it's like, it's like you're obsessed with,
What's
what do you
with
call it, the next big 60s star?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I just love this. I'm such an old soul.
Yeah.
Like, I've never really connected with people my age. I love the music from there. It was really like the artists, like the Beatles, and they really had a purpose and message, and they had something to say, and it was like...
It was not just the beat.
Yeah, like,
there was a
like
whole...
really universal topics that everyone can relate to, and just like the groove. I love artists that can really play and sing.
About your style, because I'm so in love with it,
Yes.
like the
I
hair
love
and
your
the makeup.
yellow. It's so
Thank
cute.
you. And like we already know about the clothes, but you also attended BeautyCon, right?
I
So
did.
are you into makeup? Do you do any makeup tutorials, or do you do your makeup yourself, or do you have like a glam squad that helps you out, or how does that work with you?
That's like extra. That's luxury if you have a little glam squad.
I
with
know. Trust me, girl, I don't have one of those right now. But I have Diana back there that always makes
Shout
me so
out.
pretty for the zoo.
Oh yeah. Shout out. No, I love makeup, playing around with makeup and hair. I'm obviously really inspired by like vintage styles and Brigitte Bardot, and right now I went for the Cher hair today.
I love it.
Yeah,
I can see
see
that,
the
yeah.
reference. Yeah.
I haven't seen, like, I've heard I see like a little Dolly Parton, like from her first days, like that kind of country, like that country
I haven't
look,
gone
right?
country yet, but
Yeah.
that was
Tell us about your move. Like, what was your move? I know, it's the zoo.
Okay.
You came from Sweden to LA. What was that like? What was the transition like? Your English is perfect.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you. Just change my accent just to say thank you.
Are you serious? No, because some people learn like that American accent, whenever they have to come out here.
Oh yeah. No, it was amazing. I mean, it's a dream come true to be here. I wake up every morning and I have to like pinch myself because I wanted to be here so much. And I mean, there's so many things here. Everything is always open.
Oh yeah.
And that's really new to me.
Why? In Sweden they close early?
Yeah, they close like 8. So
like
the
8
other
p.m.
day,
in Sweden?
Yes.
There's nothing 24/7 over there?
No, like literally nothing.
Oh my gosh, that's
Oh, it's cold. It's snowing. Get off the streets.
I've been hurt, babe. I'm talking so damn broken. My trust was stolen, so now I ain't that open. And when it comes to love, I overthink everything too much. I'm saying things I don't even mean, so you don't need to drive me crazy, 'cause I'll do that to myself, do it to myself. I'll do that to myself, do it to myself. Without anyone else, without anyone's help, I'll turn heaven to hell. Yeah, I'll do that to myself. Oh, I quit all those games, but still I keep on losing. So hold your stories, I'm jumping to conclusions, baby. When it comes to love, I overthink everything too much. I'm saying things I don't even mean, so you don't need to drive me crazy. I'll do that to myself, do it to myself. I'll do that to myself, do it to myself. Without anyone else, without anyone's help, I'll turn heaven to hell. Yeah, I'll do that to myself, baby. Say, hey boy, yeah, I know, nobody's the same, but I can't let it go, and oh, hey boy, yeah, I know, it ain't you, it's me. You don't need to drive me crazy. I'll do that to myself. Without anyone else, without anyone. Ooh, I'll do it to myself. I'll do that to myself. Anyone else, anyone's help, I'll turn hell into hell.
All right, guys, after the break, we're going to hang out with Omar Escobar. Stay tuned. The Zoo. All right, guys, we are back on The Zoo, and coming up, we got a little bit of urban flavor. His name is Omar Escobar. He's your friend and mine. Yeah, he's your friend and mine.
Omar Escobar.
Yeah, Omar Escobar. It's a name that's like maybe it's because Pablo Escobar and Omar Escobar sounds similar. It just has a Narcos vibe to it.
And it's two first names, kind of?
Not really. I mean, Escobar, I guess,
like a
could be a
double name.
first name, but I don't know that that's a first name. These are the kind of conversations we have off camera, so that's what we're having on camera. But check this out. It's Omar Escobar letting us know exactly who he is on The Zoo.
Pero por fin se da que estás por aquí en el estudio porque ya nos conocemos desde hace varios años y,
Exacto,
y
sí,
nunca
sí.
coincidimos en el mismo estudio.
Nunca, sí, como que yo venía aquí y tú estabas en otro lado cubriendo otra cosa y como que así nos pasamos. Después te vi en la alfombra roja, los billboards y ahí
En un
te
restaurante
saludé.
quizás, pero
Exacto, por ahí
finally.
te vi. Exacto.
En todas las alfombras rojas siempre está Denis, o sea que
exacto,
I can
exacto.
imagine why you guys met there.
That's how I know him.
Chicas,
Mucho
ustedes que
juicy,
tienen que preguntarle
juicy
aquí.
stuff.
Porque
I know, I just...
El juguito.
ella siempre se pone así con los hombres guapos que están aquí en el estudio.
Ella la que...
Ya quieres comenzar pleito.
Ella es la que se pone nerviosa siempre.
Son los nervios,
Sí,
perdónenla.
y yo soy el que tengo que estar nervioso en medio de estas dos bellezas.
I know, right?
Cierto que sí.
Yo con el acento.
Se me olvidó las preguntas, ya se me olvidaron.
Speaking of relationships, are you single? Are you married? Like, what's the status right now? Are you on Tinder? Are you like, where are you?
You know, it's like we all have that special somebody.
Okay.
You know, we all have that special somebody, and yeah, I cannot deny that part.
Okay, I hope it's not your mom.
También,
Hey, my mom is also my mom is also special. She's very special. And I have special friends, you know what I mean? And I have special people around me all the time, but there's that special somebody, you know what I mean?
That special friend with benefits.
So,
He's always throwing that fire.
So why this change in the name?
So I think that this is a moment in my life where I'm starting a new chapter as an artist and as a writer. And I have been very lucky in getting in rooms and studios with people that speak a lot of English, you know?
Okay.
And so I've been collaborating with English writers and artists. And so there's been a couple of times where somebody's trying to say my name and they don't get it right. So they'd be like, well, so what was your name? Osmar, you know?
Yeah.
So I just like, call me OPlus. And also because I'm always positive.
Oh, nice.
You know, so I
love that meaning, yes.
Yes, I'm always positive, and I try to reflect that to my records. That's why Perú is about to get you the party started. And every record you're gonna hear in the EP is gonna have something positive out of it. You know, and so that's just how my life is. If anything negative comes into my life, I take it as a learning experience so that would be something positive. So there's no negativity. I try to make a song, at least 1 to 3 songs daily.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Where in the world do you have
These aren't
time?
just like your songs, you're writing for other people as well.
Yes,
right?
yes. So like I say, I've been grateful to have an amazing management team, and part of my management is here. His name is Phil. Then I have Eli, and then I have DC, and DC is also part of DJ Snake's team.
Nice.
So they have been setting me up with a lot of blessings on that aspect. You know, Snake is working on a Spanish album right now, and so they got me with a lot of responsibilities on that aspect. So I'm just working on all of that, yeah.
So you're just writing for Latino artists, or you're writing for English, everything?
and Spanish.
Like, drop some names for us.
So the Anita record, I'm gonna talk about that one because that one is already in there. She already recorded it and everything.
Wow.
So the Anita record is a really good record because it's Spanglish.
Okay.
So it's like, it's 2 lines in Spanish, 2 lines in English, but in the record, what I'm doing is translating what I'm saying in Spanish to English. And sometimes, you know, in the English writing world, they still missing some of that poetry, some of that Latin feelings that we bring into the writing, you know?
Right.
So translating those words into that, it was a challenge, but it worked out pretty well. That's why she loved it, and she cut it. It's one of her records. It's coming on her album.
So there's a lot of people that I'm sure look up to you, and
Thank you.
You know, want to create, you know, their music the way you have. So what would you be telling those people that are just starting to be composers and musicians? Like, what do you think would be your key, quote unquote, key to success?
Okay, so what I think is about us taking advantage of our time.
Okay.
Because
Being proactive.
the closest that you can get to perfection is called practice, you know? So if you practice all the time, it's the closest you're gonna get to perfection, right? So if a year has 365 days, and you do a song each day of those 365 days, technically speaking, you're gonna have 20 songs that are gonna be good songs.
Okay.
You're gonna have 10 songs that are gonna be amazing songs. You're gonna have five songs that are gonna be really hot songs, but you're only gonna have 1 hit.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
never thought of that.
You know, so
From 365 songs that you're writing 1 per day. So basically, do your homework.
Exactly. So basically, do your homework, and you know, don't ever stop dreaming. You know, visualize yourself, you know.
That's a good one too.
Visualize yourself there and you will get there.
All right, everybody, this has been the musical edition of our quarantine sessions that is known as the Zoo. We have this beautiful fridge keeping us company. We're color coordinated, me Andres Palencia, and we're keeping socially distant. And we hope that you guys are not emotionally distant and you can stay connected with us by watching this show. Same for your time, same for your channel, LATV. This has been the Zoo. Peace.